Good morning.
That's a lot of damage, as they would say.
It is going to be snowing all day. So we have got ourselves some hash browns, some avocado, and a cinnamon muffin homemade from the wife, our spirulina smoothie, fruit, hemp seeds, the goodies. Because today we're full sending. Legion teamed up with Zwift to do a Legion crit. I'm going to jump in on that at 4. And that Legion one is going to be very hard. I mean, it's just you're going to be on it the whole time. And so I don't know how well I'm going to do on a second race. And then the Telluride, Hell Ride. How is that even real? It's unbelievable.
I'm freezing, dude. I am so cold. I am so very cold. That's what it looks like outside. So very cold.
Hey, so we're going to just break this down with a little voiceover of Zwift. Now, right here at the start, I am doing 500 watts before the gate even drops. And that's a huge thing that you need to learn when you're doing Zwift, is that you can't just wait till the gate drops and then you just start pedaling. You have to be in the orange numbers, as they would say, pretty much from the gun. So I'm doing 400 to 500 watts immediately from the start. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit about Zwift and what we're looking at here, but in the bottom, the first 22 minutes of this race-ish, I averaged 272 watts with a 482 watt max, 152 average heartbeat, 175. It was boring. This race was so boring. Now, this is a Legion crit race, and I'd actually live stream it, so if you want to watch the whole live stream, you can watch that. I clickbaited it with Corey Williams' photo, thinking he was going to be in here. He wasn't. They had 3 different time slots, 11, 4, and 7, so this is the 4 o'clock. Now, Sam Boardman and Edara Ferrara, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's the Mexican national champion. He is an Olympian, so Legion does have some hitters in here. But look, anytime you're racing Zwift, doesn't matter what category you're in, it's going to be hard. It's going to be spicy. And so right here in the top left is my raw power. You also can see my heart rate. To the right, where my name is highlighted, that number that right now it says 3.9, that is my watt per kilo. So the watt per kilo is really important because raw watts are not the same across the board. So now I'm super bored. It's been about 20 minutes, 22 minutes exactly, and I want to get out of here. Now this guy that I am attacking to bridge to, he was stream sniping me. He was watching my stream and he heard me say I was bored and I was going to go for an attack. So then with the 30-second delay in the stream, he timed it perfectly. And this guy went, and then I went, and when we're just best friends. We're homies for life. And we're trying to get away. We don't have much of a gap. You can see on the right-hand screen, there's a 2-second gap. Now, this breakaway, so now we're in the orange here. This, I think, was around 6 minutes or so. 400 watt average, 719 watt max. I didn't average 191. I averaged 181 heart rate, but that graphic is wrong and it's too late to change it at this moment. And so already I've done, I don't know, whatever power, pretty much like tempo, nothing too crazy for 20 something minutes. But now me and this guy have to go pretty freaking deep to hold this. And so I'm doing what I perceive to be great watts. We get caught by one guy, so now we have a team of 3. And if we can go 2.5 miles, then I'm live streaming and I could get top 3. Now I have an arrow boost. That's the blue little helmet. That is paramount for a sprint. If you do not have that boost, there's no way you're getting even close to top 10. So now I'm gonna save that boost. Hopefully we come to a sprint, me and these 2 guys. But again, on the right, you can see my name in blue. Right under that is the guy chasing. So that is 2 seconds or so. We just don't have very much time, on these guys. Like 2-3 seconds can be closed in Zwift like that. But I am really digging deep. I'm trying to pull through. I'm trying to hold, because this is my only chance to do anything. I'm not going to outsprint anybody. Dude, if there was a dead turtle in the sprint, I'm not finishing it. So now we don't make it. We got so close. We got within 1 mile. But I just did 400 watts for 6 minutes or so, 7 minutes. And now I got to try to figure out how to stay in the group, how to sprint. And so I got my aero boost though, and now we're coming into the final sprint. I'm trying to play my cards right. I'm trying to stay up, to the front. Legion's up there, and there's lots of guys. They're all throwing their aero boosts on, their draft boosts. But it's hurting so bad to put out this watts at this point. And so then my sprint was 662 watt average, 725 max, 194 max beats per minute. Which, to be honest, look at all the orange numbers. These guys are crushing. And for me to be able to actually have any sort of gas after a pretty decent breakaway, I was ecstatic with this finish.
I tried. Look, we went for it. That's the only way I was gonna do anything. And I'm actually really surprised we even got a gap.
So then we jump straight into a second Zwift race. And this one, I'm on a mountain bike. Okay, what? Are there even mountain bikes in Zwift? So this one has a multi-surface route. And so there's tarmac pavement right here. So the mountain bike, not good for this. If you're on a road bike, you're flying. But when you get to the dirt section, the mountain bike is actually way better. So you can choose between a road bike, a mountain bike, or a gravel bike. Everyone told me in the chat the mountain bike was the best way to go. I was a little hesitant to believe that, but when I saw this on the descent, that I am doing 2 watts per kilo and breaking away from guys that are doing 4 watts per kilo on the road bike, I was sold on this mountain bike. Now this route has 4 climbs and everyone is combined. The Legion race was just A racers. This one is A, B, C, and D. So now in the top right corner, you can see the little map and you can see all the little dots. It's breaking apart, right? The red is A class, that's 4 to 5 watts per kilo average. And then B, I think is 3 to 4, and C is 2 to 3. D is 1 to 2. And so even though there's 80 guys, it's not 80 A racers. I think there was maybe 10 or 15 A racers. But again, this is my cup of tea. I want to climb. And so I actually tested the group on the very first climb. I'm not trying to break away. I'm not trying to get off the front or anything like that. But I do want to sort of test out how spunky these riders are. I actually don't recognize anyone's name, so I really have no idea, what to expect here. But I do have 3 weeks of crazy training in my legs. I did just do the Zwift race with Legion where I was a pretty good breakaway. So I'm feeling it at the moment. Heart rate is up there. It's very easy to get dropped where it says right there, close the gap. That right there is saying, hey, you're getting out of the draft. And in Zwift, there is drafting, even on climbs. And so these 2 guys start to roll away, DP, double penetration, and A-pop. And so then I bridge to them, because you just never know. Like if 2 guys get off the front and they get a little gap and then no one works, and I'm live streaming, so I don't want to make excuses. I kind of want to have some entertainment here. And so down below, just like I did before, the first real meat of the race, I believe 49 minutes or something like that, was 263 watt average, 700 watt max, 157 average heart rate, 185 max. And so this is now to the top of the second climb of the race. And again, the downhill for this mountain bike is so awesome. I am doing barely anything, but A-pop and DP actually broke away here. And I was a little worried that they were going to get away. And so maybe a rookie move to sort of burn a match on the downhill to jump to them. But you never know what's going to happen. And I don't want to let these 2 guys just ride off into the sunset. This is my cup of tea. I need to be drinking it. And we've got, 7 guys here, making into the final climb. And I was feeling pretty spunky, wanted some entertainment, so I actually kind of went off the front a little bit. And I was thinking, well, maybe they're gonna, let me go. But they did not let me go. And I actually here in the stream said that I had started a fire that I can't put out. I had attacked 49 minutes into this, and so now this next big section, the climb, I did 395 average, I think for, I don't know, something like 11 minutes, 658 max, 178 average heart rate, 186 max. I've got a lot in my legs, right? We're an hour into this race and A-pop is flying. And so then, you gotta go. You have to, it's gonna start breaking apart. So I dig really, really deep. And man, the thing about streaming is that it just gives you this power that you otherwise wouldn't have. You know what I mean? If I wasn't live streaming, if I wasn't filming, I don't know if I would have made this. Maybe I would have made it to DP, but I definitely wouldn't have then went around him and bridged to A-pop. And so then what happened here, and you can see it in the top right corner of the map, this group shattered. And so now I'm top 3 and I'm finishing the climb and I'm really struggling at this moment. I know the heart rate doesn't necessarily look like that, but my average heart rate for the last 2 hours or whatever the stream was, it was high. And now we get onto the descent where I thought, you know what, this is going to be my moment to get away, because that guy DP, he's on a gravel bike. And so it is way faster in the sprint, but way slower on this descent. So I'm thinking, is there an opportunity where I can attack them on the descent and get away? Because again, I have no sprint. My max sprint is really no different than my max effort at any other time. So they actually start going. Look at DP is doing 10 watts per kilo. He is flying. And so then I put in this big effort. I catch him and I just go around him. I'm hoping that they just blown their wad. And so then I'm going to fly around them. I'm doing 37 miles an hour on this descent. But you can see in the right them chasing. So that's one thing that I'm always looking at, that watt per kilo in the right. So they chased, and now we come into the final sprint. The gravel bike guy at the front, he has got a huge advantage now because he's on that gravel bike. My advantage was on the descent. But also, I was kind of marking A-pop. I thought he was the guy to watch. But dude, this bro on this gravel bike hits 16 watts per kilo in his sprint and then averages something like 15 watts per kilo in the sprint. He's just gone. He is gone. And so I'm trying the best I can to hold on to this dude's wheel. I actually, for 30 seconds, averaged 712 watts, 911 watt max. Bro, that's huge for me. And especially at the end of 2 races, get out of town, man. I couldn't believe it. Now, third, sure, whatever. That's great.
We got one more gear. Come on, Tyler. Up, 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 up. Come on. Come on.
Ah! Damn it! Ah! What? How'd that get? So there's our amazing dinner. Can you explain what we got going on here?
Okay, so I did some roasted potatoes.
I need Mrs. VC.
Oh, okay. Hey guys, look at my beautiful meal I made all by myself. I did some roasted potatoes on the stove. I did some couscous because I'm fancy like that. And then I did, actually topped it with some pesto, fresh garden pesto. Then I sauteed a little medley of vegetables. Sorry. A little medley of vegetables, some celery, some onion, some zucchini, just a couple different things, and then topped it with some plant-based chicken tenders. No big deal.
Hey, I had to talk. Hey guys, I got some new song. Lunch break every on the day night. Burgers, steak, for all your steak. Whipped cream, that too. Juice jars with whipped cream.
Good job, Sid.
Hey, thank you for watching. I know this wasn't much of a video. It's getting hard to find ideas for videos, and it's chock full of snow outside, so it's hard to go outside. Definitely feel like I'm falling behind. It is what it is. You can go check out episode 4 of The Impossible Route, or any of them. Number 2 is my favorite. I think it has the best storyline, and it just flows really nice. And every year that I do this, I try to take one major idea away from it. And something that has really struck me this time is how much words change your mindset. The vocabulary that you use is so important. By saying a certain word, like one word versus another word, can actually change how you feel about things. Things that are your priority versus you don't have time for them. You know what I mean? So my son today, he asked me if I could download this game Rust and play with him. And it would be very easy for me to say, I don't really have time to do that. Like, I'm trying to launch Impossible Route 4, like I'm super busy. But I could reframe it in my mind and say, well, that's not a priority to me. Playing a game with my son is definitely a priority. Like, that's not even a question. So I'm gonna download the game. Like, it just, that word of I don't have time is so easy to say. You are not my priority is impossible to say. Like, that's just disgusting. So these are things that I'm going to try to take with me out of this month in how I use certain words to reframe my thoughts. So there's that. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed me suffering at the Legion crit and also that dirt crit. I felt like I did pretty good. Did some decent power. Need to work on a sprint, but it's not really my game. So anyways, as always, Vegan Cyclist.
Yeah.